Hello, Libra. How are you? This is Dr. Tarot with Take Charge Tarot. And we are looking at your love, relationship, I should say love/relationship, career/work, and soul path for the dates October 23rd through October 31st. Of course, please look at this is for Libra, Venus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn even. So give me info about Libra. Oh, this one just came up. Okay. First card. So this is career. This is interesting. We got eights. Nice. Okay, a lot of eights. Interesting. All right, just looking at a long view here, we've got 1, 2, 3 eights, 2 kings, a 5, a 9, and an ace. Awesome. So the way I do it is, this is career, this is love and relationship, and this is soul path. The top is where you are now. The middle is the direction in which you want to go, or what's suggested, right? You have free will. You do what you want. And then the bottom is the immediate action you can take, if any. Sometimes no action needs to be taken. So let's we'll start here with the card that just jumped out in terms of, can you see that well? Yes, you can. 8 of coins. And by the way, I am using the Tarot of the Divine deck, which is, I can't say enough about it, so I'm not going to say anything because I can go on, but it's fabulous. So here's the 8 of Swords. Here's where you are now with regard to career. And believe it or not, it is it's a card that's not loved, but it is not a terrible, terrible placement. What's happening here, it's not as, in other decks it does look worse, but nonetheless, the energy is the same. And, the easy statement is you do not feel like you can really move anywhere. So if you do feel like you want a new career, you want to do different work, it's not like you feel like you can right now. You're not tortured by it, but you are a little bit like annoyed. You are a little bit disenchanted. But I don't feel, honestly, this feels like you're sort of looking over here at the castle, like, oh God, there's the castle, and I'm over here in my little cave doing my job. But you're plotting. You've got your hand, if you notice, there's like a thinking pose there, hand on the chin. You're in your work garb, in your work outfit, and you are accurately assessing the present. So there's no fantasy. It's not like, oh, this job is the worst thing that's ever happened to me in my life, or, oh, what I'm doing right now is, it's not so bad. You're just like, I'm not very happy, but I am paying the bills. And, or if work is not something that you're paid for, you're just not in a great place, be it a project, maybe you're an artist, but you make your money doing other things. You may feel like you're a little stuck, but to be perfectly honest, my sense in this card is that that's not the case. You're not tortured by this energy as much as you're sort of accepting it. You're there. I'm there. It's not lovely. I'm not, ecstatic about it, but here it is. So moving on, the direction in which you want to go, which I think you're already going there, probably why you're not so incredibly just unhappy about it, is King of Cups. You want to embody and act. Okay, let me put it this way. You want the work that you do, but to be more specific with regard to like the purity of the King of Cups, you want what you produce to also be emotionally fulfilling for you. So this isn't just, I want to be emotionally fulfilled. That is true. But there is this sense with King that you want to do these things. You want these things. It's sort of a combination of the emotions with the pragmatic, right? So you want the doing. Yeah, I think that, this is actually a very simple reading. There's no need to complicate it. You just want to do something that makes you happy. There. Perfect. And the direction in which you need to move is, so this one's going to sound interesting. You need to take action that makes you happy. So what do I mean by that? Okay. So you're not happy. But again, you're not like, it's not crazy tragedy. You're just like, I'm not fulfilled. Okay. You need to move in the direction toward that fulfillment, that emotional fulfillment. Cool. We got it. King of Cups. Okay. Now, the way to fulfillment, and again, this is the immediate action to take if there was any that you could or would take. This is it. So this is definitely an action that you can take. A little thing. So for example, okay. Art project is coming to mind, so I'm just going to use the project of a visual artist. You really want to finish that series of paintings that you started 5 months ago, 8 years ago, whatever ago, over the holidays, and you just haven't gotten around to it. And there is nothing that fulfills you more than seeing your work, your emotional, because creativity and emotions kind of hang out in the same arena in our minds and in our hearts and bodies. So you really there's nothing that gives you more satisfaction than the creation and the seeing the product of your creation. I get that. So what's interesting here is that you feel, backtrack, my brain went somewhere else. You should take small actions, and it's no accident that these are both kings, right? So it's not like this is a minor thing. This is just as big a thing as this. This is just going to make it happen. It's going to grow the tree, as it were. This is just a gorgeous card. My goodness. So you want to take a little action. So what does that look like? Tomorrow, wash and rinse off your brushes. If you need to. If you don't, take a look at your paints. Get your stuff out. Just put it around you. That's it. That's all you have to do. Maybe the next day you might have fun mixing some paints. You're like, let me mix up some, some of these different pigments. I don't know enough about visual art, so I'm going to sound a little bit, I'm making this up, obviously. But just pretend that what I'm saying is just totally on. Yeah, so anyway, but you get it, micro movements. So micro actions. So take little teeny tiny steps toward this. And that's it. I mean, again, there's no tragic here. There's no tragedy in this area. This is just like very straightforward. I'm not getting any kind of like emotional thing here, which is cool because this is actually a very intense and dramatic deck. So often it is like, it's a whole big thing. Love and relationship, it looks like, I get the sense, if I'm talking, now, this doesn't resonate with everyone, right? So it's not every Libra in the world that's watching this with any Libra placement is going to be like, oh my gosh, you're talking to me. So I'm talking to at least one person and maybe multiple people. Looking at your love and relationship area, I almost want to say I'm talking maybe to people who are in relationships. Like you're in that place of you're not married or you're not like long-term committed, but you have been together for some time. And by the way, I always, and I do tip my hat to my teacher, Lindsay Mack. My reading of the tarot is that it belongs to everybody. So what that means is not everybody is even interested in love in the traditional sense or a relationship. Some of us are aromantic or asexual, and that's totally cool. This applies to you then perhaps as any other relationship you have in your life, a work relationship, a friend relationship, a family relation. You more than anyone get what I'm saying about you for you. So, so just want to make sure that, you know, that we have, this is an inclusive reading. This isn't just for a particular kind of Libra, right? Okay. So looking at what I'm feeling is someone that's already, this feels like I'm already in a relationship. So I don't know if I'm talking to singles. If I am talking to singles, it's someone you've been talking to. Kind of like one of those things, like it's not hot and heavy, but you've talked to them and then you didn't, and then you maybe got interested in someone else and then you came back to them, and it's sort of, there's a little history there, right? There's a little something. And when I say history, single people, I am talking like months. Okay. I'm not talking years. I'm just talking like history in the sense of what it is in the singles world, right? My single folks, you know, dating someone for a month can be like an eternity, right? So, it's a little nudge, nudge, wink, wink. So I'm definitely getting that you're going to get some kind of fiery communication coming in. Committed folks, single who have been talking to people. And, you know, we're in a retrograde, so this really does feel like retrograde energy. One of those, this never came to you, so it's coming to you now, and it's coming to you fast. So even though retrogrades are thought of as like, oh, communications are all messed up, blah, blah, blah. This is really about, this thing is overdue. It's typically, it is common, or it is stated that, or it is suggested that during a Mercury retrograde, you hear from people that you haven't heard from in a while, or you, let's see. Yeah, basically people from your past, they come in. So that's definitely something that may be happening, may have already happened. If not, it's going to happen in the relative, very, very, very near future. Hello, card, can you stay? Where you might need to be moving, according to this, is you need to be going in the direction of thinking about building. So what does that mean? It looks like, Libras, I'm definitely talking to singles, and I don't know if I'm talking to marrieds, but married folks and, you know, committed life partner folks of mine, you may find a message in this, but I'm not feeling it in that way. What I'm feeling more is, if this does resonate with you, it's very much about like this particular chapter of your relationship, right? I'm not talking to like the whole of your relationship. I'm talking to like maybe, I don't know, like the 6 months you guys have been maybe going through a thing, or there hasn't been anything. It's just kind of been bleh, or, you know, I mean, so just kind of apply it to your relationship, however you see that may fit. But anyway, this is really about, okay, it's time to build something. And this fire, which is a fabulous element to include in what's a very, Seven of Coins is slow moving. I mean, Pentacles in general are slow. But if you're familiar with, well, it doesn't matter what you're familiar with, because I was going to say, like in the Rider-Waite deck, this is a man who's hoeing or raking his little bush, and he's just waiting for it to flourish. He's waiting for it to flower. So there isn't a whole lot of action there, right? But yeah, so anyway, that's what's going on there. So it's just time to start. Okay, well, where can I start to put, and I'm guessing this communication has something to do with this. It may not be that way for everybody, but for some of you, I'm definitely talking to someone who's watching this. There's something about this communication. It's one of those like, oh, that's what he thought. It's clearing something up that just never really got resolved. It's like Mercury is also, retrogrades are good for like revisiting something that wasn't quite resolved and then cleaning it up a little, or just revisiting that past thing and being like, oh, that's what you meant. And that could definitely apply to, you know, LTR types, long-term relationship folks, or single people who maybe someone you were vibing, you were having great energy, and then all of a sudden either you just kind of disappeared or they disappeared, and you know, whatever. There's so many different iterations and possibilities here for in terms of the story and the details. So that's the Seven of Coins, and the direction in which you need to be going. This is an interesting one because it's not the most fun, right? But it's just never easy to say this, right? I always, you know, you want to say the great things, right? But this is important. So I have to deliver the message. And the message is to look honestly. Is this connection serving you? Is this connection fulfilling you? Is this connection really delivering, you know, it's pentacles, right? And this is typically like the card of poverty or impoverishment. So what you want to think about is it feeding you? You know, we're not talking about cups. We're not talking about, oh, am I feeling, yes, emotional fulfillment is always important, no question. So this isn't like non-emotions. But do you have what feel like to you actual demonstrations of this person's care or this person's affection or this person's love? I'm thinking, of course, right now, the whole love languages thing is coming to my mind. If you don't know what that is, I think his name's Gary Chapman or something like that. And he has, the famous book is The 5 Love Languages. Check it out if you're interested. I'm not by any means like highly recommending it or anything. It is useful. I remember I definitely have benefited from reading it many, many years ago. But it's something like that. Like if your love language, so for those of you who know what I'm talking about, if your love language is words of affirmation, that's one of those. Do you feel this person's like talking to you? Are they telling you, you know, how great you look today? Or are they saying, God, I really appreciate you? And whatever your thing is, right? Whatever your thing is. For some of you are like, yeah, that's not my thing. So, but whatever your thing is, it's having to take a really hard and honest look. And Libras, you're all about partnership. Again, at the risk of overgeneralizing about a sun sign, but you know, the sun sign is definitely like, it's a nice kind of wash of the general sense of you. It's not all of you, but it is certainly speaks to a core of you. And that's the beautiful thing about Libras, right? Libras help us, they teach us and they model for us what it is to be in relationship with another. Whether that's an intimate relationship or a friendship, that to me, and certainly I'm not alone or original in saying this, but that's the gift of Libras to the rest of us in the zodiac. And I'm speaking as a Scorpio. Scorpio in the 7th house. So I am in the house of Libra. So of course I have an affinity, but you know, I can't claim Libra-ness now, can I? Yeah, so it's just time to be real. It's time to be honest. And this is because you're moving in a direction. Now you're not, this isn't marriage here. Okay. This is not moving in the direction of tying that knot, locking it down. Not saying that at all, but just a movement toward this groundedness, if you will. Okay. I've said enough about that. Soul path. Well, I don't know what's going on, but you just got really clear about something. I don't know. It feels like an inspiration, but what's weird, I mean, it is your element, it is air. But inspiration usually for me is more of a fire element. But what I should say is this feels like something was brewing for a while and you got like, again, this is soul path. So soul path is like, that's way open and that's way open for you. Like, if this resonates with you, I'm talking to you kind of thing. I mean, that's the case with all of this, but definitely like, you know, your soul path. And if you don't, well, no one else can know it better than you. So you're just kind of figuring it out maybe or moving toward it. But this is where you are now with your soul path is you just got clarity about something. So maybe something has been kind of in your space, be it an opportunity, be it, I feel like it's been more in your mind. Like one of those, I don't know if you can relate to this, Libra, but, how shall I put it? Oh, okay. I'll use this since it's a relationship metaphor. Who better to use that with than a Libra? It's like you've been friends for someone, you've been friends with someone please excuse me, it's a late night. You've been friends with someone for like 20 years. I'm obviously assuming you're more than 20 years old. If you're not, no disrespect. But you've been friends with someone for a long, long time. And all of a sudden you're like, it just hits you, right? You might have had like little traces of something like this, like here and there, like, oh man, I really love so-and-so. They're just so great. And they may even be like your best friend, or they're one of your best friends. They're a friend that you've just, like I said, they've been in your life, ride or die, a friend. Not like in and out, but they've been a consistent friend. And all of a sudden, literally like the heavens open up, like just, wow, just like this card. I mean, even though this card is in a web of some sort, like it's also beaming, you know, like a light bulb of the clearest light, just right in your brain. And you're like, oh my God, I love them. I'm in love with them. They are my person. Something like that. You haven't told them yet. It's not like you've said anything. It's not like anything's happened, right? I don't think you've moved on this, but something. So that was an example. It may not be about a person. It may be about a thing. It may be about a family member. It may be about your family in general. It may be about your relationship with, I don't know. You know more than I do. Could be what you're meant to do with your life. The real reason you're here. You thought it was this, but it's really this other thing. And now it's so clear to you. Oh my gosh, how did I not see this before? That's the quote for this. Oh my gosh, I see that so clearly now, clear as day. How did I not see that before? That's what this is, and that's where you are just now. If you're not already there, you'll probably be there minutes or hours after you hear about this, because the immediacy of this card is really coming through. Like this is like now, right now. And by the way, if you see this like in 2021, this applies to you. Time is ephemeral, which means it's just almost an illusion. You know, when you see this reading is when this reading is relevant to you. Even though I am saying it's October 23rd through the 31st of 2020, who cares? Spirit doesn't care. The universe doesn't care. That's a linear timestamp that we have devised as humans here. Okay. And what's interesting about this, and again, these just happen to go together. You're being called to move in the direction of basically towards your wish. You know, you're being called to move away from something, a way of being, a way of living. It's coming through really as more like a way of seeing your life. Again, perspective is kind of what I'm getting here. That may not resonate for you. If there's something else that's coming through for you, like, oh no, it's my job, or no, it's this. But what I'm getting very, kind of powerfully here is this is a change of like perspective. That's just it. Perspective. How you saw something, how you perceived something, your angle, like you've always looked at it dead on. Then now you're like over here on the side and you're like, oh my God, I had no idea. And seeing it from this perspective just opened something up. And, that's, I guess, for what I'm getting is that this is you having to just begin, because this is a journey. It's not like that. It's not instant. This person, presumably they started over here, they had the cups and they're walking away. So it's about beginning the journey of just accepting and shifting because now you have this illumination or this understanding of something, someone, some situation, some place, some whatever. You have to now move away from what you thought to be true. It's a no-brainer, but it doesn't mean that it's easy. It doesn't mean that this is going to be just a smooth sail. If anything, like it says here, like it's here, and it also says, it doesn't say, but whatever. The images are what are the tool through which we get our guidance. I'm trying to think of an instance where this isn't true, but I can't, of the decks that I own and am pretty familiar with. But generally, this is work that happens at night. Actually, I just thought of an exception. Light Seers. In that one, she's walking into the sunset. Or the sunrise, it could be, but it's light. But the point is this. You are walking towards some celestial body, and that indicates that you are going for a long walk. So, I guess it's interesting how some cards just drive you to say lots about them, but it's important for you to know that this is, again, a step-by-step thing. You may be doing this for the rest of your life. That could be it. The rest of your life, let's say you have 70 years left of living, could be just this, based on this. It could be that intense, or it can be the first of many, right? I'm moving on. I think you got the point, but for whatever reason, Spirit really wanted to just spend some time there and just make you aware of that. And finally, and now this looks scary. This is the immediate action you need to take. It's Nine of Wands, which is essentially, it's often it's burdensome. It's bearing a burden, but you're standing strong. Like you did the thing. Whatever the thing was, or whatever that long, long road was that you had to go and travel down, you did it. Okay? It's done. But it doesn't mean you're still standing, but look at those wands. I mean, it was quite the job. I can't believe how long this reading's running. My goodness. I guess I have lots to say. But what you need to notice here is not so much the horrifying image of the skulls, but rather look at the, I think she's a girl. If she's not a girl, she's definitely a young person. She's good. She looks, she doesn't look happy, but she's standing. She's fairly unscathed. She's like kind of pissed, but more like, how am I receiving you? Let me take it. Okay. I mean, distressed. Distressed by how tough the journey was. So this is actually really great information. And what it's telling me, okay, sorry, just had a little moment here. The information that it's giving me, which is helpful, is that this is actually probably going to be, it's not easy. It might be like, oh, wow. Because at first it was so beautiful and so light. I was like, oh, lovely. But that's me on the outside. I'm not in your shoes and I'm not living your life. I think you probably will feel a little bit differently about it, or it'll be like, oh, and then it'll be like, oh shit, now I have to like deal with this. But the important thing to note is that this is happening whether you want it to or not, right? You can stay here, but you will lack the cups. You'll lack the 9th cup. The 8th cup is on its way to wish fulfillment. So what you want, the whole point of this card is moving past through 8 to get to 9, which is essentially, I wouldn't say it's the destination, the absolute destination, but I will say that it is like it's very commonly thought of as wish fulfillment. So a wish coming true. So there's something about this that is key to your evolution on this planet in this life. And the immediate action to take is facing the music, facing some kind of difficulty. It's part and parcel of this longer thing. But this is all like totally cool. Just so you know, like this isn't tragedy. This is about you being ready to meet the challenge that is upon you, if that makes any sense. So you have just arrived to a point where you're ready to grow the F up, so to speak. That's the information. That's the information I'm getting here. I'm just the messenger. But Libra, honestly, nothing here is like, oh man, Libra, you're poor you. I'm not getting that at all. I'm just getting like, it's funny. The general sense here, Libra, is the general sense I get is that you're good. You're good. You're like, this is coming to you at an okay. Not everything is necessarily hunky-dory and perfect, but if you're really honest and you go within for just 30 seconds, you're like, yeah, I am good. You know, I'm good. Roof over the head. Sure, I don't have the money to pay that or do this, but you're solid right now. And this is all just like, the soul path thing does feel, it would be the thing I think that's kind of the most. That's not always the case, by the way. But like, this is just like career's like just a little movement forward. It's like an inevitable movement forward. Relationships, like, you know, like here are the steps. I'm going like way up there. Here are the steps, you know, and like, you're kind of like, oh, I'm here in career. And then you're sort of like, oh, I'm kind of here in relationship, whatever that is for you. LTRs, that's long-term relationships, marriages, singles, newly single, lifetime single, asexual, aromantic, whoever you are. You're just kind of here, you know. You're in the middle of the steps, so to speak. And then here, you're it's similar. Except this I would say is what's like, whoa. Big time something. Wow. But beyond that, you're just good. You're good. You're living your life. Here's some things. Yeah, I feel good about it. So I should say that to you. Hopefully you will feel good about it. But no one can tell you what to feel. Okay. We have going on 32 minutes here. That is very long for me. But obviously this is the message you needed to hear. Please subscribe. Join our little startup family here, startup YouTube site. I am very committed to serving. So if this resonates with you or you feel some connection whatsoever, either to the style of this reading or to the information that has been given to you, just consider thumbsing up or commenting even. I respond to all comments. Yeah, have a great day. Until the next time. Thank you for the honor for reading for you. I do not take that privilege lightly. So thank you. Take care.